Hello and welcome to this macro beer showdown, United States versus Mexico. I have from 1844 Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. This is the new City Brewing, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Brewed Pabst Blue Ribbon, not Milwaukee. This is Tecate, Baja California since 1844 on the borderlands of Baja California del Norte. This is brewed in Tecate, Mexico. 142 calories per can. 4.5% alcohol from Tecate Brewery. This was $15.99 for the 12 pack. The Pabst was $13.49 for the 12 pack. 4.7% alcohol. You get bottles and cans and draft here. Tecate, we used to get bottles and cans. We still get cans, obviously, but I hadn't seen bottles in a while, but they're probably around. The website says they still have 12 packs of bottles and 6 packs. It's got a pull tab with the black eagle on it. Tecate has more head, but I poured it second. They're both golden straw. 4.5, it says it on the can. It's got a Best By date. And this has a Best By date. All right. They probably have a born on day too in some more complicated code that only the distributor guy could decipher. Maybe I could, but I'm not going to try to. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. Okay. Kind of sour lager, not like sour beer. I always said this, not like sour beers, which are more like tart, just sour, like sourness, like standard sourness, which some people find off-putting. Same thing over here, fermented cereal grains. They both use corn. Pabst, well, when they were Miller Coors Brewed, it was corn syrup. Now it's City Brewing. They might use corn syrup as well. They might use yellow corn grits. I don't know what they use, actually. All right, taste, cheers. This seems to have that sweet Mexican corn that they use in tamale flour, the masa corn. Plus it's got this lacing, which I don't think the other one has, which was the Pabst. Well, there's some lacing there. Fermented cereal grains like barley, malt, and corn. Did they bring the yeast strain over to City Brewing, that Carlsberger yeast that they said made it taste winey? I got a 1980 National Geographic article. It's in the magazine from 1980, and the author went on a tour of the Pabst Brewery in Milwaukee, and the brewmaster was saying they use Carlsberg yeast. It gives it a slight winey flavor, which I always notice with Pabst. Like Chardonnay, which would mean it had like a grapey flavor, right? In a sense. This might have that, but this one actually has more of a bitter back note. It's like they upped the IBUs. The international bitterness unit seemed to have been elevated to like around 15. So it's taken on not a true Pilsner bitterness, which would be around 30, 33, but heading toward Pilsner. Whereas the Schlitz seemed like they cut back on the bitterness when they moved to City Brewing. My cans came from the Lacrosse Brewery. If you live on the West Coast, you'll probably be getting Irwindale, California, Pabst and Schlitz, assuming you can find them. This is very corn. I mean, the barley malt's going to be very pale, white bread, but it has that masa corn. This has the bread and the elevated bitterness, much more bitter than that. So I'm going to say it's, now which one tastes better? Sweetness is pretty pronounced here, like 3 out of 5 sugar cubes, honestly. You could say it's a sweet grain beer. Bitterness is probably 2.5 out of 5 hop cones, so I'm saying 15. It could be higher, but it's probably, the actual number is probably about 15. Sometimes the real world bitterness will be higher or lower than the actual number. Bitterness here, I would doubt if it's even 10 bitterness units. Minimal, 1 out of 5 hop cones, if that. Sweetness, 2 out of 5 sugar cubes. So if you want a drier, less bitter beer, go with this one, which I think is Tecate. And it is. So the price. Tecate cost me $2.50 more for a 12-pack, for the 12-pack. Availability is much less around here. I had to find it. I found it at Kangaroo Express on Louisiana Highway 3188. They said that would be the only one around here that had it. I looked on the locator tool in Tecate. It was accurate. They had 12 packs of the cans. Pabst, well, I don't have to search for it because all the stores, well, Winn-Dixie, Mathern's, Cash Saver sells it. A lot of the convenience stores sell singles and 6-pack of pint cans, but they were all out of date. All the singles at the convenience stores were, their best by date was sometime in 2023. So I said, I'm not doing a taste challenge between the older and the newer. I could buy a 30-pack of Mathern's or Winn-Dixie of the older, but it's not that important, really. I might go by Cash Saver and see if they have a 6-pack of pints. Maybe next week, but like I said, it doesn't matter. Walmart doesn't sell Pabst Blue Ribbon for some reason, but the other stores do. Although I did go to Big River on US Highway 61, they didn't have any format of it. The Big River, like also in 3188. Just like Kangaroo Express, they had it, but it was woefully out of date. So I'm going to say Pabst wins. Do I like the masa corn flavor? I do like it, but I prefer that little bitter touch. It's up to you if you like the bitter. Yes, my father says, who in the world would want to drink something bitter? Who would want to drink something bitter? I said, well, there's a good kind of bitter. He doesn't believe it. But, oh yeah, it's not even close. Maybe it is 20 bitterness units. I mean, it's amazing. Anyway, so the victory goes to, now you say, oh, you were rooting for Pabst all along because you got more, well, I had more Pabst stuff. I would have put Tecate decorations out, and I don't have any. I just had this from the 12-pack. Alright, so laissez les bon temps relais, the winner, the legendary Pabst Blue Ribbon, 100 years older, 1844 to 1944. And I'm going to end this taste challenge by saying y'all go to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, or to Tecate, Mexico, and take a brewery tour.